I think a great picture not only has the emotional and subject matter content, but it comes together in a formal way that sings. My name is Keri Pickett, and I'm a photographer. My photos are about what we care about in this world and our value system. I think that's what interests me the most, and so I find myself gravitating towards issues of family and community. I'm interested in the commonalities that we share, and then also the aspects about ourselves that make us unique from other people or communities. Today marks the 75th birthday of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and so the Tibetan community gets together all around the world to celebrate. In 1992, I went to India and I was able to start a project that I've been working on now for 17 years. I've named my project Tibetan Tree because it's a portrait of a brand new immigrant community putting down roots in the Midwest. Every year since 1992, I've been spending time with the community and photographing the way that that community is able to put such a strong emphasis on maintaining their culture and religion. And so I see this as a lifelong project.
Keri Pickett, she may be the only person who may have the complete record of the Minnesotan Tibetan American community.
She have done fantastic job, and we're hoping that her photo will be educating the rest of the world about Tibetan culture, Tibetan beliefs, and Tibetan costumes, all of that.
So this I got at the Tibet store in New York. Oh. Sort of chubas for us Western gals. Well, I would say that the way that I get good pictures is by knowing the people that I'm spending time with and by trying to spend a lot of time. It brings you into the people's lives. And so I would always tell people the main thing is get closer. I love the mix of seeing how the Western culture is predominantly there. You can't get rid of it. And so here we have a very traditional Tibetan event, and yet the little children have their little toys and the sci-fi characters, and they're kind of in the front row, and then the elders are doing their traditional dances. To see this interconnectedness of the Tibetans weaving their way into American culture, and American culture coexisting side by side with the Tibetans. I've been in Minnesota since I was 4. And then I lived in New York City through my 20s. I got cancer, so I moved back to Minnesota and I started photographing the kids coping with life-threatening illness. I got an NEA grant for that, a Bush Foundation fellowship. I have found Minnesota to be so supportive of artists. I've been so lucky. I've had 3 McKnight Foundation fellowships in my time, and I really love Minnesota, and I feel like I'm a Minnesotan. In the course of my career, I've published 3 books. I'm interested in people, oftentimes people whose lifestyle choice puts them outside the mainstream of society. Fairies is a book about a subculture of gay culture and their retreat place in the North Woods of Minnesota. Saving Body and Soul, which is a book about Mary Jo Copeland and her work with the poor and the homeless in downtown Minneapolis. And Love in the 90s, Bebe and Joe, The Story of a Lifelong Love, a granddaughter's portrait, about my grandparents' courtship and love story. I feel like as a photographer, I'm asking a lot from people to share their lives. I know how that feels because I shared my own family first. And I think like the power of my Love in the 90s book was the fact that everybody gets to be right there front and center for the intimacy of these two people that love each other so much. There's this one moment when Grandpa was leaving home and he had collapsed on the bathroom, and the paramedics came and they were bringing him to the hospital, and my mom is looking at me going like, "Don't shoot, don't shoot." And to me, I just had to. You could feel it in the air that something very important was happening. And I don't think we need to shy away from that. To me, everything that happens in between the birth and the death is an interesting part of life and needs to be remembered. Photography is as vast as the world is big. And so there's probably that many different ways to earn a living as a photographer. My favorite client has me photographing on organic dairy farms in order to show where the milk is coming from and to understand that it's being produced by small family farms. Well, I thought we'd just start some in the corn and then head out and walk so we can see the farm in the background, the silos before they're all gone. I have found photographing on the farms to be one of the most rewarding jobs I've ever had. I can't tell you how fabulous it is to be able to highlight a work that I believe is so important for all of us. When you look at our future and the future of clean water and everything, I just think that the small family farms are so important for our future, for our health and the health of the planet. Just one more request, go with the heifers.
That would be nice with the heifers in the
With
background.
the heifers.
Okay. Well, I'll unplug the fence so we can walk
The last farm I was in, I had a near catastrophe.
through it. Uh-oh.
Yeah. One of the cows in heat was right behind me, and I didn't know it.
And you were putting off that scent?
Yes, and the cow was ready to mount me. The cows, the farms, the grazing, all the work that it takes behind that, I find incredibly inspirational. I love how it shows children that work is not something to be feared, but work is a natural and organic and wonderful part of life. Did she nibble you?
She nibbled on you? She thinks you're sweet, honey.
Yeah.
I just really like the way the camera is a bridge, and it's a passport into other people's lives. The beauty of photography is that it takes a snapshot in time and gives you an eternity in which to think about it.
Minnesota Original is made possible by the Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and the citizens of Minnesota.